Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer show. This is a show where we talk about stuff, play you some music, and encourage you to be creative. This season, we are exploring the art of being human. We want to say thank you to our patrons who support us each month. If you want to know more about that, visit us on patreon.com/Chasing Ebenezer. For more information about our musical endeavors, visit chasingebenezer.com. We hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Chasing Ebenezer show. I'm Heidi Spills a lot, and this is Benjamin Steady.
Doesn't spill as much.
Benjamin Steady Sadler.
Steady.
So thanks for joining us again, and thank you to all of our patrons who help make this show possible. And we are really slowly making plans for...
slow.
I know. A lot of it's in our heads, the brainstorming.
Yeah.
But for our next full album. So thank you, and patrons can, you can be one for just $1 a month. So there you go.
Exactly.
And you get
stuff
from us. Yeah.
You get stuff.
So join us now, and thank you to everyone who makes the show happen.
And let's see. I'm honestly excited about playing in Eugene this weekend. We have a full band, and we haven't been able to play as much together lately. And so this is our first full band gig in a while, and it's our second gig with our electric guitarist, William McCracken, who is just, I can't even describe. He is the Mozart of electric guitar. I think that would be the best way to describe it. So we're really excited to have him play with us. So I am extremely excited to be in Eugene on Saturday.
Well, I have so many things I'm excited for. One of them is my new Richard Simmons doll. And this is from my sister. And I love that there's certain things that only your sister would know how meaningful they were to you. So my sister and I and my mom, we were big time sweating to the oldies gals back in, I guess it'd probably been like the early 90s. And, you know, one time we even dressed up, my sister and even dressed up like in the same outfit as like one of the workout people. So Richard, thank you for bringing joy to the world. So
I realize that Richard Simmons is kind of like the more animated and obviously more energetic. He's like the Bob Ross, Mr. Rogers of the exercise world.
There you go,
so
Richard.
There you go. Cheers to you.
Yes. And I'm excited. I think it'll have aired before before the show, but I probably go to my Instagram, I think, and watch it again. But I'm doing just a really simple dot art live stream tutorial for you can make someone dying flowers for Valentine's Day.
You don't have to water them.
If you kill these flowers, then
they don't need sunlight.
So check out my Instagram. Heidi Beth Sadler is the handle, and make stuff.
Yes. It's good.
Okay, I'm done with my excited.
Those
for
are
now,
and honestly, our cat is also excited about Richard Simmons because he manages to use Richard Simmons' bottom as a pillow when he sleeps. So he's not only there to encourage you to exercise, he's also there if you want to take a nap.
Both.
Oh man, how did I feel my humanity this week? So many ways. I guess the best way I can describe it is that I felt my humanity because I really began to feel anger this week over a variety of different things.
Could it be your wife made you angry?
Yes, but that's okay. But what it realized is that like there's so much anger under the surface that I still have yet to deal with, and so cheers to learning to work on yourself. So that's gonna be some stuff I'm gonna be working on over the next month or so. On anger, on learning to deal getting angry, dealing with the things I'm angry about that I try to pretend. Because that's the thing. Anger gets worse when you pretend you're not mad. And that's something that I developed a skill of doing. And then I realized I wasn't as skilled at hiding how mad I was. I wish it was a better humanity thing I felt, but that was the big one for me this week. That's
a good thing to be aware of, though.
Yeah, I think so.
That you're an anger leecher as opposed to exploder.
I always say there's the Hawaiian volcanoes that explode all the time and build new islands, and then there's Mount St. Helens that it doesn't blow up until it blows up and destroys everything around it. So we'll see which one I am.
You got this.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, since I have been one of the people to help make you angry in your lifetime.
You gave me opportunities.
I give you opportunities. Yeah, and I have definitely had a past week very difficult PTSD symptom week, and so frustrating. Anyway, but I'm sorry, I'm just hearing something in the background that our cat is doing. He probably knows that we're talking about animals this weekend and wants to make sure he's noticed, so I'm going to try to ignore him. But one of the things that I've noticed that I do is that when I'm really anxious, a lot of us look for things that bring comfort, and some of them can be healthy and some of them are not healthy. But I have been watching old Columbo episodes a lot, and that's one of the things in childhood that I loved was Columbo, and so...
Columbo's good stuff.
I love Columbo so much. If you've never seen it, it's one of the, I think it's one of the best retro shows. It started in the 60s and then, So anyway, it's on Peacock right now, I believe, and you can watch it. So I love it because the premise of the show is, it's not a mystery or you have to wonder who did it. We always know at the beginning who the criminal is. And how Columbo is going to figure it out. And he's so annoying in his approach, but it's just so good. So anyway.
It is good.
So yeah, I'm just been reverting to those childhood TV shows that I enjoyed as a kid. So there might be some Murder, She Wrote once Columbo episodes are done. I love Angela Lansbury.
My grandparents, I think, loved Murder, She Wrote.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, today, as we continue talking about the art of being human, we get to talk about a subject that is near and dear to our hearts. As you already probably know, we get to talk about animals. So... this isn't the art of being an animal. Maybe that'll be next season. This is the art of being human. Why do you think talking about animals is connected to understanding our humanity?
I'm going to tell you. Well...
I can't wait.
Well, yeah. I'm full of answers. Well, one of them is that wherever people are, there are animals. We might not be aware of it, but
you're being watched.
There's ants. We've just started getting ants again at my house. There's birds everywhere. There's fish in the sea, even in the coldest places. There's polar bears, and everywhere on our planet are animals. And from the story of creation, from the beginning, animals were made first, even before humans. Adam and Eve were to be the zookeepers of Eden. And even when the flood happens, Noah and the ark, there's 6 or 8 people, and
it's full of animals.
So they have been part of our history. They've been around before even humans. And so I think that is really important. Many of us grow up with pets, farms. Animals are just part of our world, and you can't really go anywhere without.
Right.
And you said, are there animals in space? Well, I don't know. Animals in space, would you let us know if you're there?
And if you think there are, please say something.
Yeah, let us know. Get us a message.
I'm very
somehow.
open to that possibility. Yeah, and I guess it's like the fact that we were created to be our relationship with animals says something about our humanity.
Well, it does. Sometimes it's a good relationship, and sometimes it's a really bad one.
And sometimes it's just complicated.
That's true. So let's talk about a couple, maybe some animal memories maybe that we have.
Oh man, okay, so I'll go first. My mom raised me. We pretended to speak for our animals.
I did not know that animals actually were apparently until I met you.
Apparently, that is not something everybody else does. So when you're a poor outsider that comes into the Sadler household, and all of a sudden we're saying things for our dog, including cuss words. It kind of threw her off a little bit, but no.
And now I've caught the disease, and it's. I hope you're not around. I'm sorry if I forget that you were around when I'm talking to and for my animals, my pets.
One of my favorite animal memories was I got a hamster when I was really little.
Oh.
We named him Hermie, and he was really cute. He was in his own little cage, and he wouldn't really come out that much, so we needed to get him a friend. So what we thought was a male hamster.
Oh, yeah, right.
And I think we named the hamster Zippy.
Well, there you go.
Well, as my mom has shared this many times, Hermie perked right up.
Okay, then.
And was happy. And it's like, okay, problem solved. Till a few weeks later, all of a sudden, there were a lot more hamsters in that cage. And apparently it just happened. So
it just happened.
And so my parents took Zippy and the babies back to the store, and poor Hermie was by himself.
Poor Hermie.
And tragically died alone.
Oh,
and that really,
no.
Now that I say that really breaks my heart.
Story.
But everything up until that point was fun.
Oh, that makes me really sad now.
I'm sorry. Yeah, me too.
Oh, I know that is the hard part, the death of our animals.
Man.
Well,
we're gonna leave that one mostly alone today, I think.
Oh, we don't need to. Let's just not. Well, one of our funny stories about our cat Mowgli is years ago when my brother-in-law Aaron, he was spending the night at our house, and he said that in the middle of the night he had this sense
that he was being watched. Like something was
staring at him, the presence. And so he got, Mowgli was there on the staircase just watching,
just giving him the eye.
He slept. So, and I think that's another reason too. Like, we watch animals, but they're watching us too. Oh, they watch us. So, we raised rabbits when I was a kid. So, we did that. And alas, we bought Princess Rosie. And Princess Rosie turned out to be Prince Thumper Rupert. So, I think this is a common thing that our animals
silly
just
humans
change genders all on their own.
Yeah.
So, I can't, those are some of the best ones. I know we've talked before about the first time, or I guess it's the only time we went snorkeling.
Oh, man.
And so that's not pets. That's wild.
Yeah.
And that is a whole other experience. That is like a terrifying, holy experience. And so, not the same as pets.
Yeah, I want to jump off that a little bit because, we think about domestic animals. We think about going to the zoo, right? What is the difference between seeing... how do you feel the differences between seeing an animal that you would see in the zoo versus seeing it in the wild?
Oh, terrifying.
Okay.
I'm not afraid that the lion at the zoo is going to eat me.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no way because it just, it makes me a little bit, I do admit I have a love-hate relationship with zoos though.
Same.
I struggle, and I know that in general most animals at zoos are
cared for.
Yeah, and they're generally rescued. But it's hard to see a wild animal not able to be in its full element. So it's like I'm grateful that I'm not going to be, mauled, but yeah, it's when we can't see them in their element. It's not the same.
Well, it feels like very often, like when an animal is around humans or in a controlled human environment that we make, its personality tends to change. Whereas when you see it in the wild, you see it as it truly is, how it was intended to be. I remember this past year, we had a little coyote that would
yeah.
And I cannot tell you how many mornings I would get up and I'd walk outside and I'd just look to the left and there he was, just staring at me. And there was something holy about it, honestly. We made eye contact, paused, and I knew if I moved a little bit, he'd be gone. And then my next thing was, are our neighborhood cats still alive?
Right.
And I checked, and they were.
It is an odd thing, like when you see wild animals in a city environment. The juxtaposition is very strange. So,
yeah. Well, and I think about the zoo. Animals are there for our amusement and education.
Yeah, and I think
which is good. I'm not bashing.
No. My understanding is too is that they're often there because they have been injured or they're rescued. So. Sure,
but the role that they serve for the public, there's almost like they're almost like the entertainment in some ways, which is not wrong. I thank you. I didn't want to say anything bad about zoos.
No. It's a mix.
But when you encounter an animal in the wild, they're not there for you.
No. In
fact, they may think that you're there for them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's definitely different. I mean, yeah, it's cool though. So what was an animal that you've grown to love as an adult that maybe you didn't think too much about as a child?
Cats definitely. I just wasn't around cats that much. So I love cats, but the honey badger tends to evoke
so many emotions.
So, I know you love koalas.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I love koalas. Never stopped loving koalas. Honestly, I can't think of an animal. Well, the closest one I can think of that I've grown to like more now. I didn't mind birds growing up, but I was afraid of getting pecked. But now when I see birds, it is like, it just warms my heart, and I love to just sit and watch them, listen to them communicate. And if you sit still enough in the woods for a long time, you begin to see a whole lot more of them, which is super cool.
When I was a kid, I tried to set up a bird trap.
A bird trap, not a bird feeder. A bird trap.
With a box.
I'm sure they appreciated that.
Well, I think that there was no chance that, that was ever going to catch a bird. So, yeah.
What animal terrifies you?
I have a really hard time at aquariums.
Yes, you do.
I get really scared, and I cannot stand very close to the glass. I just freak out.
We went to the Monterey. Was it Monterey?
Oh yeah, I had a total.
Oh man.
Yeah, those sharks and
they're scary. They're very scary.
Oh no, they're not just scary. They are terrifying. They are so scary to me.
Yeah, they are.
And you are like,
I am in.
Let me get as close as I can.
I was in tears of awe at the Monterey Aquarium. Like they had a jellyfish exhibit. And they
were beautiful.
I was just blown. Oh man, I get emotional just thinking about it right now. It's so beautiful and wonderful. I would have to say spiders terrify me. Snakes do too. Snakes do too.
Oh, snakes, yeah.
But there's a difference between I don't want to be in the same room with this thing versus I'm aware that this thing deserves my respect, and I'm going to be very careful. And so I think snakes tend to, with me, kudos to anyone who owns a snake. That's great for you. I would not feel comfortable owning a snake because, yeah. So there's like awareness versus like spiders are tiny, so they kind of hide in stuff, and the ones that are really poisonous are also really small. So if I've been out in the woods or something like that, I always check my shoe. If I see tarantulas, like, oh gosh, yeah, I have a cringe reaction with that. But I love sharks. I would have a different emotion if I was in the water and a shark was swimming around me.
There you go.
If they can smell fear, they would smell more than fear. Yeah, but so animals both like they awaken like endearment in us, they awaken wonder in us, and they awaken fear. So how can animals and our relationship with them help with our creativity?
One of the things I do with a lot of my violin students who are like, they know the sheet music, but they're trying to figure out how do I improv and how do I make it my own. And so I will often ask, how would you play this, make it sound like a bird, or like what animal, would this sound like? Because and so trying to imitate what you think the sound of an animal would be, definitely kind of, it just, you can play the same thing a zillion different ways. And so I often use that for prompts. I'll often put on nature stuff just to be calming, and so that's one thing. I mean, I like to paint a lot of birds.
Yeah.
Draw a lot of birds, but.
No, that's good. So basically animals can also serve as a calming thing for you when you're experiencing anxiety. You can bring things down. One of the things I found about animals is that kind of like what my mom taught me to do with like making them talk, I can always kind of wonder what they're thinking and project ideas. Like our cat Punky sitting over there just staring at the wall like she does. To wonder, I wonder what she's thinking, and to actually have that be something that kind of guides me into that, and it kind of makes me wonder why do I think that they're thinking that?
Well, and the thing about animals is in the same way that you can teach things in comedy that are harder to tell. If an animal says it, it can often be received better.
Yes, that's so true.
So I think that's why a lot of cartoons can you can teach messages in them that maybe as an adult we can't. And so I'll have to look it up. It's been a while since I wrote a little short story about a bunch of raccoons, so I'll have to like find it. It's been a long time, but I mean, I think there's a reason why a lot of parables, Aesop's fables, Animal Farm. I mean, sometimes it's okay. Here's the sad thing: in a movie, you and I both actually tend to cry more when the animals die, when the people die. I'm like, what does that say about us? I'm not sure what that says about us. But a lot of times, parables use animals, and so it softens the blow, but yet it can also it can drive
hurt
it home.
So much worse.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same thing. It's like, I kill 1,000 people in a movie, I'm good. If the dog dies, I will never watch this movie again. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And but I think animals are a safe ground for us to experience our emotions too, because I am so vulnerable with my cats. I don't always talk tenderly to them, but oh my gosh, if there was a video put on me having a conversation with Mowgli, I think they would probably up medication for me. But they feel they are a safe place. That's why there's like such an uptick in emotional support animals and therapy dogs and all of that stuff. So I think animals tend to draw out the best or the worst in us. So that's kind of how I think it can help with creativity.
Yeah. I think that too, they're just the textures when you're talking about, especially visual art, just the variety in the textures of animals, whether it's fur or scales or feathers. There's so many Oh, hi, Punky. Punky's just joined us. Speaking of fur, it just adds so much opportunity, especially for tactile art, and obviously we know that so much fashion takes its influence from those palettes and textures. So, okay, now Punky's done. She just wanted to make sure that you all knew she was here. So there's just so many different ways that art and animals just get kind of merged together. So
it's true. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give you a few prompts to maybe how you can begin to incorporate animals into your life and into your creativity. All right, so a real basic way to like get started with incorporating animals into your creativity is go see animals. And we tell you, go to your local zoo, go to an aquarium.
A farm. Go to our local farm. I took my niece and nephew to an alpaca farm a while back, and it was like magic. It was
I really want to go. I haven't gone yet.
You haven't gone yet.
So I am turning 41 in about a month, so maybe we can do that on my birthday.
Maybe we can. Maybe.
Yeah.
And there's even some cities like Portland have like cat cafes or dog places. So. Yeah.
There's a lot of places to take your dog, a lot of restaurants, which is super cool. Go to a pet shop. Go out in the woods. Our friend Robert always says that if you sit out in the woods long enough, you will see amazing things. You'll see where animals build homes. You'll see all kinds of things show up the quieter you are. So go out and do that. And as you're out doing that, whether it's in the zoo, pet shop, wherever you go, pay attention to the animals that really draw you, that make you feel something. Whether it makes you feel like, makes you make baby noises towards it. That's an option.
I thought you...
What was I going to say?
I'm glad you added noises at the end. Because I was like, wait a minute. I don't think this is that kind of a show.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're not going to put parental advisory on our podcast. That draws out compassion in you, that makes you want to cuddle it.
Richard's going to turn around now.
Pay attention to the animals that repulse you and make you draw away. And just journal about that experience. That would be one prompt. Another one would be, and you can even just do this as an exercise for yourself, because let's be honest, animals are pretty darn trustworthy. They keep good secrets. If you don't want something to slip, tell an animal, because they don't have a Facebook account. Okay? What secret would you tell an animal? And maybe tell that secret.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not going to ask you that. And maybe tell that animal and kind of like, how did you feel being that vulnerable and being that open?
Well, I was going to say, journaling, maybe put yourself in the place of the animal and what the animal would say to you, what the animal would want you to know, or what the animal's thoughts are. Maybe just write about what was your experience in your family about animals, what was their disposition towards them, and has yours changed or not?
Yeah.
It's interesting because in some circles it can almost be viewed as a weakness that if you love animals. I mean, I'm not a perfect vegan. If you cook me a steak and I go to your house, I will definitely eat it. But for the well, Ben, obviously, you are a contract killer.
I'm a contract killer.
When it comes to animals, yes. You don't kill your own, but you'll just eat other people. But in general, I don't eat many animal products. And, there can be mixed feelings about that. So it's good to just like assess, what your feelings are, the people you know, and to like, in case there's any shame about that. Some people just feel more comfortable around animals than people. And so we're all different. So it's just good to get some of that stuff out. There's, if you don't have a ton of time, watch a movie or a cartoon, something with animals. Sing. I just saw Sing 2 with Mariah, my niece, and loved it. You haven't seen it yet. But so many movies. I know All Creatures Great and Small, James Herriot, he's, famous for his veterinary work and movies and books. All that stuff are a good option. Another cool thing would be is if you got some feathers or some fabric that's made with animal prints, you could make some kind of a textile collage. Even like little miniatures of animals. You can get them and make a little scene.
Yep.
Why not?
I've got a little scene in my office, which we'll show you a little later.
It's actually,
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty cool. He's got his collection of animal statues is building. So
I love it. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I got one at a white elephant gift, and those gifts are supposed to be crap.
You got a good elephant at the white elephant party. Yeah.
Yes, I did. All good stuff. So the song that we're going to do is a song called OneStep.
It's nothing about animals.
Nothing about
right?
animals at all, but I realized I don't really think we've done this one that much on this show, and I like Heidi's violin. You all like Heidi's violin in it.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do as we play it. Because it's a Celtic song, I think, ish. I mean, it's got like that.
You're going to call it a sea shanty.
It's not.
There's a running joke in our band now that like every song Heidi says, oh, it's a sea shanty. Oh, it's a sea shanty.
I
just think you like to say sea shanty.
Well, okay, the reason, and maybe I probably say it wrong. If I imagine being on a pirate ship, I call it a sea shanty. So anyway, this song to me has like this sea flow to it.
It does, you're right.
And so what I'm going to do is I'll do what I do my students. I'm going to imagine I am whatever animal is doing this. Maybe like a dolphin or a whale.
For those of you who are only listening, she's making wave motions with
my hands. So I'm going to try to infuse some of that.
That'll be fun.
And if it sounds stupid, oh well.
It's our show. We can do what we want.
You guys already know that, you win some, you lose some. So I'll see what I can do.
Very cool. Well, hey, we love you, and we love animals, and we want you to love animals too. So have fun creating this week. Bye.
Bye.
Prison cell, for I have finally seen the light. I'm a slave to pleasure, let me give that which fades for what truly lives. In the name of love is truly gain. One step from the broken hearted, 2 steps from the grave. Take my rights, my house, my life, if a difference can be made. Let my soul become a plow to work the fields of justice now. Let my words work with my deeds. Compose a symphony of peace.
house, my life, if a difference can be made. One step from the broken hearted, 2 steps from the grave. Take my rights, my house, my life, if a difference can be made. Every life begins in pain. Every loss in the name of love is truly gain. Hey! One step